everyone. I hope you're well and are keeping safe. So today I'm going to be joined by Vaishali of Tiny and Tidy Co. So she is a decluttering queen, and she'll also be sharing some helpful tips on cleaning and also just generally talking about decluttering the house and getting organized. This is something I kind of face many challenges with because I've accumulated so much stuff. So I'm gonna add Vaishali into the chat now. Working. Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock now, so the boys are just having their lunch. We've briefed them downstairs. Have you had
Okay.
breakfast yet?
My husband just left with mine. They're out for a bit, so
Oh,
I can
so you get
I
to
can
have a
have
little
some.
bit of,
Yeah, I can have
yeah.
some quiet
So how are
time.
you doing?
Yeah, we're doing well. It's still a little bit crazy at home with all the kids, and we live in a condo, an 850 square foot condo. There's five of us,
Wow.
so it's not easy, and we're both working from home. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got to make it work. How
Yeah.
about you? How about you?
Plowing through. Yeah, we're okay, thank you. I've been trying to use this opportunity to do a little bit of kind of, everybody has that long list of stuff that they need to do, don't they? Like, oh, I must deal with the loft and I must deal with the spare bedroom and, just this massive list. And I think I'm finding myself literally moving stuff from one room to another.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
trying to break free from that and make some progress with that long list that I've had forever. I'm just
Right.
trying to kind of get to grips with it, but I'm so excited to have you because I know that this is something that so many people can relate to. We all want to have a nice minimalistic house without all the
Yeah.
clutter and just stuff everywhere.
I
So
agree.
have you always been into kind of being
Yeah,
organized
so
and
just by nature, I've always just been super organized. Like
yeah,
in I remember in elementary school, I had like all these black binders all labeled. My locker was so organized, and my teacher came up to my locker and was like, "Wow, like this is weird," And I
yeah,
was like, "What's so weird about this?" But it's just always been in me. But the problem that I realized later in life, and this was after I had my second child, so I have three, was that I was trying to organize too much stuff. And we were in a small space. And even if you're in a big space, you just buy more and then you just fill it up and you just think you
yeah.
need all this stuff. And it was when I came across the documentary Minimalism on Netflix. This was like
Mhm.
almost 4 years ago now. When I watched that, just something like just clicked, and I
Click.
just went like crazy. Like I just like decluttered our whole place. Like my husband's always been kind of minimal. He doesn't care about stuff. He prefers to go to like restaurants and vacation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he was totally on board. Our kids were super young, so didn't really have an opinion. So yeah, so we just went to town and we just got rid of like so much stuff. And since then, it's been such like a weight has been lifted, and it's been such a relief.
Yeah.
And then I just, sorry.
I think one of the things as well is it's not only about the amount of money you spend on accumulating this stuff, it's also the amount of time that it takes to constantly sort the stuff
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
And I think since I got married, more so, I'd say I've become very almost attached to things, like, oh
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't throw that away because so and so got you it, or you never know when you might need it. And actually, it's like, well, just don't get the stuff in the first
First
place. You
place.
don't.
Yeah.
My biggest my I don't know what the equivalent in Canada is, but here we have like B&M stores and like
Mhm.
Poundland. Those kinds of shops. They're like the
Dollar
worst because
store.
you're
Yeah.
yeah, you're just like, oh, this is so cheap, and you never know when you might need this, and you never know
Right.
when you might. B&M is like my guilty pleasure. It's got like all this home stuff and cleaning
Yeah.
products and just baskets and random stuff, and I end up walking out, and I just think, did you really need that? And I'll convince myself, yeah,
No.
you do need it.
And you really
I
do
wish
think
I
you
did.
need it. Yeah. And now the problem is that we have it all. So now it's like, okay, now what do I do? Right.
Yeah.
And what happens is once you go through this whole process, it's a lot of work to do it, to get rid of everything. And when you do, then you're like, I'm not going back there. Like, this was so much work to get me here. Now I'm done with it. And your whole mindset changes. But in order to do that, you got to just like, you got to take the dive and do it. So today I actually had like 10 tips of like just overall cleaning, organization.
Yeah.
I have like a bazillion tips and information on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on my Facebook. Like, I'm so passionate about this stuff. So if you want like more detail and stuff, you know, people can go there to more information. But today I'll just go over it quickly because there's just so much to say. So I figured the quick tips might help people get motivated maybe to get started. So I'll just get started. The first thing I'd say is you have to declutter. Don't try to organize all of that stuff, which we said at the beginning. That's how I started, and it doesn't work. You're like how you said, you're moving stuff from this room to that room to this room to that, and just, you know, relocating, and it just doesn't work. So it's hard to get rid of all of it because you feel guilty. You're like, oh, I spent all this money or whatever it is, you know, you're attached to it. But there's a lot of books, resources out there. I have a lot of content that can help you like navigate those kind of questions that you're having about like, oh, but what if I need this one day, you know? And there's a solution to that, and everything's answered. So first step would be to declutter, and you want to have a vision of your home that is like clear countertops, clear tabletops. Like, you don't want all, you know, your shelves as little as possible. They don't need to be full. Like, we think we have a piece of furniture, so it needs to have something on it, and it doesn't, right? So if you believe that and you kind of have that vision in mind, then constantly you'll be like, okay, I can't have stuff all over this table. It needs to go in a drawer. So that drawer needs to be decluttered before, so I can fit the right amount of things.
That's stuff in there,
right? So that would be step one.
How do you do, just sorry to interrupt you, Vaishali, how do you deal with toys? Because with the boys' toys, our house is like a nursery. I don't know if you've seen some of the stories. It is like a nursery, and if I try and get rid of a toy, Britain will be like, you know, what's the point? You're just gonna they're just gonna end up getting another toy to replace that toy or whatever. But and also it's not broken, so why throw it? But honestly, just trying to navigate through their toys alone and keep them organized is just a nightmare.
So what I did with that one is, from the beginning, we never had the big birthday parties. We did one for my daughter turned 1, and then we were like, okay, no, like, we can't have all. And even when we did it, we told everyone coming, we're doing a potluck. That's your gift. We're not going to do toys.
It's a good idea.
Still brought stuff because people just feel like there's no way, right? And I've had many conversations with grandparents and family relatives, like, just always, everyone knows now that, like, don't bring stuff to Vaishali's house, right? Like, bring food or bring something the kids can consume, arts and crafts stuff maybe, but like, you know, not a bunch of stuff, because then we just have too much. And everyone knows we live in a smaller space, so they're not going to burden us with that either. And then to actually work through it and get it organized, I do have a detailed YouTube video where I explain how I did my whole playroom, because our playroom is also our living room. It's also right. It's all shared, so it's like you need to have it look good for but then also an area for the kids to play. So again, it's decluttering. It's taking some of their toys and putting it away, and then you rotate and you pull out the older one. I mean, the toys you've put away, and then just keep changing it up. Then they feel like they're getting new toys. And then all the time, like, you have to keep going through it, and you're always going to get, like, from little birthday parties and McDonald's and stuff, all these like little all these weird things that just accumulate every single time. You got to throw those away. You just got to get rid of them. And then I know the toys aren't broken, but if you have doubles, you need to send some off to Goodwill or donate or whatever. Because you don't need 2 of everything, you know, 1. And a lot of parents also do that, right? They're like, oh, my kids can't share, so we get 2 of everything. But they have to learn, you know, they have to learn how to share. And that's the only way they're going to learn, right? So that would be my advice. But yeah, again, I have that video that breaks down, and I also have a guide on my website that people can download that tells them step by step more of how to break it down, how to organize their playroom, and that's just like a free guide you can download from my site. Okay, so let's get into my tip number 2, which is decanting. So I'm huge on decanting. And it's basically like just taking the stuff that comes in the packaging, you know, putting it in other containers. And like I did this with all of like my condiments and stuff, ketchup, mustard, and
I
it
saw
just
that.
cleared up so much space in the fridge. And I know it's an extra step, but it makes everything look so much more organized and it takes up so much less space. And it makes the biggest difference. And I know people are like, oh, but I don't want to do that, but it's worth it. And you'll see like all those cereal boxes and all that, that takes up so much space for nothing. Right. And then when you see what you had, you also use it up. And
Yeah.
instead, you know, when it's in a box, you don't really know, is there anything in there? You know, am I almost done? So highly recommend that people decant. Another tip would be, so tip number 3 is mason jars. So I'm huge on mason jars for all
I
of
love
the
this
seasons.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're great for like meal prepping, and because they're clear and glass, you can see what's inside. So definitely highly recommend mason jars. And I also recommend that you get like, because ours come with like the metal lids and they can rust. So I got these ones and they're plastic. So then, you know, they won't rust. Because I keep these in the fridge with all sorts of things as well. And then there's like this kind of lid for a straw that you can get. And they're just so versatile. So when I give my kids smoothies now, there's no more a million different smoothie cups. Like, and they don't break it. Like, I have very young kids and they hold it. I put the straw in it and they're good, and we can just reuse
Oh,
them.
that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And also this one. So this is baking soda in here. And this is from Parmesan, like that you just buy.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a
Yeah.
normal lid. And then you have like the shaker type, you know, and I didn't even have to pay for it, right? Um, so these lids fit on so many things, and there's all different types of lids online that you could see that would work for your mason jar. So highly recommend that. And then I'm going to go on tip number 4, which is labeled closet dividers. So again,
Yeah,
all
I
these
have these.
products, yeah, all of these products are all, again, I have a shop on my site. You can see them all linked there if you want to know where to get them. And the labels, I did custom vinyl labels, the label machine, everything is on there. But so I have ones with our names on it in our front hall closet, and that divides up all our coats. So then that way, everyone's coat is always in the right spot. You have everyone's together, and it just makes it easier instead of everyone's coat getting mixed up, right? So we do names for the family, and then in our actual closets, I have it labeled by like category. Their t-shirts, their joggers, their sweatshirts, and all that.
Yeah.
And then everything always ends up in the right spot. My husband, my kids, and I all have them. So these make a
Love
huge
that.
difference, and it's just, you know, a little step to get those. Okay, and I'll just move it quickly, and then after like all your questions, if you have, then at the end
Yeah.
you can ask me whatever questions you have. Another one is salt. I like to put in my toothbrush holder just a little bit of salt at the bottom, because when you're cleaning it out, it just makes it so much easier. Because like a lot of stuff, if you keep your toothbrush in a toothbrush holder like this, it like all the water and stuff tends to collect on the bottom and it gets moldy. So that way it keeps it clean. You just rinse out the salt like once a month, and then
Oh, wow.
clean. So that keeps that easy to clean. What else did I hear? Tip number 6 was, oh, okay. So I'm not at my dishwasher right now, so I can't show you, but one day my husband went to the grocery store. He found, he brought these blueberries home, and it came in a little container that was different from the ones we typically get. And I just thought it was a cute container, and I didn't want to get rid of it. But I'm like, no, I don't keep anything now unless there's a purpose for it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I need a purpose for this blueberry container. And I was by my dishwasher, and then I was like, oh, I could attach it to the top rack of my dishwasher. So I got some zip ties, and you'll see it on my Instagram feed. And I attached it there. And then now I just keep my sponge and my J cloth in there, and it always gets rinsed. Every cycle it goes through in the dishwasher, and it never smells anymore. It's always clean. and it keeps it off of the counter or anything. You know what I mean? It's like hidden away in your dishwasher, so you never have to see these ugly things, right? So um so that was I love that one. It's working out. We've done it for like months, maybe a year now or something, and it's worked out really well. So, and then also you use this up until it like basically disintegrates, because before I used to throw it out, it used to smell, and now I can use it. Okay, tip number 7. I don't know. Have you heard of Norwex or E-cloths? No? So basically, they're just like these microfiber cloths. And I got introduced to them just like this year. A friend of mine sent them to me, and they're just amazing. So one brand is called Norwex, and the other one is called E-cloth. And I am going to be doing a YouTube video where I fully review it and explain everything about it. But you just basically wet them with just water, and you wipe down your whole counter, your mirrors, like your bathroom, everything. You can clean everything with just water, and it picks up all the dirt. And apparently it removes 99% of bacteria. Like on their website, they explain everything. So Norwex, the thing with Norwex is you have to go like through a rep to buy them. So then when I was researching, I didn't really want to do that because I just didn't want to go through that whole process. So E-cloth is another brand that is available on Amazon, and it's the same. Like I've tested out both, and for me they work the same way. Again, you'd probably want to research to make sure that it's the same thing, but for me it's the same idea. So you just clean with water. They have their mops, they have like all sorts of cloths and everything, so you're not using all those chemicals. And they're a bit more pricey. But when you think about it, you're not buying as much paper towel anymore. You're not buying cleaning products anymore. You're just using this in water. Then it's worth it in the long run, right? So something to look at.
And you're not exposed to all those chemicals. That's like a thing that I'm trying to be more mindful of as well.
Same here. Just started getting into that, and that's a whole other world. Like, so much information, but I'm trying that too. Yeah, because you don't notice, right, how many chemicals you're exposed to. It's insane.
No.
And let's see what else. Then number 8, I had have you heard of these Rubbermaid Brilliance containers?
Yeah, we probably have our version of those.
Maybe.
Like yeah.
So these are like, it's like this, I don't even know what it's made of. It's some kind of BPA-free plastic stuff, but it stays clear, and they're just amazing. Like I got rid of every other container that I had. I donated everything, and I bought only these in all the different sizes, and they're just airtight. They're like rectangular, so they stack nicely in the fridge. You can see what's inside. And I use them for when I'm meal prepping, when I have leftovers, and also I have I prep my berries in a certain way. I have a blog post about that, but this is what I store them in, and my berries will last up to 2 weeks.
Wow.
And they're really, really good. And I've seen them, like people posting about them all over Instagram. I was like, I don't know. But then I got them. I got just one set, and I was like, wow, this is so much better. And I got rid of everything else. So that's the other thing, is if you do get them and you decide you like them and you get a whole bunch, then make sure that you're getting rid of the old stuff. The problem is we want to keep both, and then it's a big gong show, right? And then all the lids will match, and it makes life so much easier. So highly recommend those. And again, linked in my shop on my website. The next tip number 9, is I just put in the sink a jar, or you can use any container, with dish soap and water. And right away when we have dirty dishes, we just leave the cutlery in there. So then when it goes in the dishwasher, it never comes out with like food all over it, because it's already had so much time to soak. So so just leave that in your sink. And my last tip is, I recently started doing this. So I've heard about it, but I had so much fabric softener. So do you use fabric softener?
Yeah.
So me too. I've been using it for years. I had so much of it, and I was trying to finish it because people kept talking about using vinegar. And I was like, really? As fabric softener? So I started using white vinegar. So this is not fabric softener. There was fabric softener in it. I washed it out, and then and you put white vinegar in the fabric softener compartment in your washing machine, and your clothes come out soft. They don't smell like vinegar at all, and your machine gets cleaned. Now, if you look online, some people say, oh, it could damage the rubber gaskets or the rubber, if you have like a front loading machine,
Yeah.
over time. But I did a poll on Instagram. I asked people questions, and every message that I got from people that have been doing it for years all said it did nothing to their machine. It's just been
Okay.
life-changing and amazing and so good. And then a lot of people say that there are companies that, you know, that make fabric softener, that their best interest is to make people think that it will damage their machine. And that's why you might see blog posts or things about that kind of stuff. But really look into it. Like, I was reading one the other day, and it was, the girl went to Tide and like the Tide facilities or something, and was like, and then I went and tested out Tide and it worked so much better. And I was like, okay, well, you're probably posting on behalf of Tide in this article,
Yeah.
right? So just keep that in mind. But again, like, do your own research. I'm not a scientist or anything, like, but I've been trying it out and it's amazing. Like, I'm not going back to fabric softener unless my machine breaks, and I'll let you guys know in a few years if that happens. But
We'll probably have broken machines with you by that point.
yeah.
But
So yeah,
those are really useful tips.
Yeah, those are just 10 tips I want to share quickly. And then now, yeah, if you have any questions, or if you want advice on anything for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, those tips, I've just jotted some of them down actually, because they're really simple. They're not even, you know, it's not like I've got to go and clear my whole house out.
No.
I think for me, yeah, so one of the things I did was kind of clear out my wardrobe, and there's so many clothes that I bought that I'm never going to wear, I've not worn. They've still got the tags, and I tried to sell them on eBay and it just wasn't working. And I've got like 3, 4 black bags, and I had toys as well, the boys' toys, because a lot of people said to me, you should try and get some of the money back if you've not really used them much. So I tried it. I was getting peanuts, and I thought, you know what? I've loaded them in my car. My car is full of toys to drop off at the charity shop. But the clothes are still sort of sitting here in the corner of my office. And I'm just like, just part with them and just be done with them, because it's a kind of like a mental block as well, just having stuff everywhere. And it's also, again, finding the time to sell it. You know, if you're donating it to charity, at least you know it's going towards a really nice cause. But for me, having so much stuff, and when I look back and I say to Britton, I'm like, you know, we've only been married for 8 years. We've had the house for 8 years, I guess, but we've accumulated so much stuff in just that time. So I've kind of tried to go through, you know, like our bedroom, it's a bit more kind of, you know, structured. But with the boys' room, it's trying to keep them on top of things as well. They're just, and that's when I get a bit like, oh, I just can't, you know, I just cannot be dealing with this. But I think for me, mentally, if there's a lot of stuff everywhere, I feel really cluttered mentally as well. I find it really hard to just have I can't explain it, just to kind of have a freer, I feel like it really impacts my mental health, basically.
100%. And it makes the biggest difference. Once all that stuff is gone, you're going to see, like I would have never had time to do Instagram, YouTube, like all this kind of stuff that I'm loving before, because I was so busy. I spent my whole weekend cleaning, organizing, like trying to fix everything. And now it's opened up so much more time. Like, I'm still super busy, but I've chosen now to do these kind of things because I have time, right? So you just got to do it. And the whole thing with selling, that's another thing that I tried too, because people are like, oh, you should try to make money off of it. You can sell it. And oh my God, what a nightmare. And it just like makes you stop. Like, you start and you're like, forget it, I can't. And then it stays in that pile, and then you feel guilty and you keep looking at it. And then what I did was, so I ended up just like, I tried the selling thing, wasn't working. Like, yeah, you sell it eventually, but you're gonna make like $5. Like, it's not, or whatever, pounds. Like, it's not even worth it, right? Not worth your time. So so I ended up just donating in the end. And then afterwards, I got really into minimalism and I wanted to do even more. So I started reading books by like serious minimalists and Mary Kondo and stuff. All of them, in all their books, they all say, don't bother with the selling. Like, that is what is going to drain your energy. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
and none of them recommended selling. They're like, if it's a big ticket item like some Louis Vuitton purse or something, then yeah, obviously something like that you would want to try to sell. But all of these outfits and things that we buy, and it's not worth it.
And I
Nobody
think it
wants
teaches
it.
you, if you're going to buy
Sorry.
something, think twice before buying it, because you end up with bags just full of stuff, and you do feel really awful, you know, that hard-earned money that you've used to buy all this stuff, and now there's no real use for it, you know, and it's, yeah, it's
Right.
like a mental
Exactly.
block. No, you're right. Maybe I'll just put those in the car as well. Um,
So yeah,
Somebody's asked,
just get rid of it.
what do you recommend for organizing an open shelf pantry? What type of baskets would you use, and what should be used for canned goods and pasta, etc.?
Okay, so I don't have visuals in front of me here, so but in your pantry, I would recommend IKEA carries, and I don't really know those stores in the UK, but in the States, like the Container Store, but they're white, rectangular, and they're opaque. So then that way, when you put it aside, you're not seeing all of the different colors and all that. All you see is these white regular bins, and then put a label on the front of, you know, is it like we have like sweet snacks, salty snacks, jars, cans, you know, it depends on how much space you have. We don't have a huge pantry, so we're very limited with how many bins we can have. And I used different baskets in those, but the ones I use have like a cloth inside that can be removed and washed. But I would recommend instead getting the hard, like the white ones that are wipeable. So
Yeah.
I will eventually switch mine out. But yeah, so those white ones. And then if you don't want to buy from those kind of stores, you could try your dollar store. I think you called it Pound something. I'm not like a, yeah, you know, and they do have baskets and bins and things like that. So go see whatever's in your price range, and highly recommend baskets and bins. And then I love, these are my favorite, the OXO
I'm
containers.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're perfect for decanting everything else, like sugar, rice. They have cereal, they have everything, right? All the different containers. So that's what I'd recommend for a pantry. And for the cans,
Um,
you could get
mhm.
like can dispensers, the ones you can stack your cans and you pull the can and it comes out, or the ones that it's like a shelf, like levels, and then you can put all your cans so that you could see what you have.
That's a good idea. With so my sister's actually asking about the white vinegar. How much do you put in per load? How do you know how much to put in?
So what it says online, and other people have told me, it's like a quarter cup, but I have a dispenser in the washer that's the size. It's a quarter cup actually, so I just pour it right into there. So you
Okay.
probably have the softener dispenser, so just fill that up.
Fill that up.
Yeah.
Okay, I must try that.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to convince myself though that the clothes do smell of vinegar.
They don't. You'll be shocked. And what you could do is, I haven't tried doing this, but people put essential oils in the washer, not the
Um,
dryer. It's flammable, so don't put it in the dryer. But in the
yeah,
washer, just add a few drops to your vinegar and let it run
that's
for
a good
that.
idea.
So you could
That's
try that
another
way,
good
but
idea.
it really
Um,
doesn't smell.
no, with regards to cleaning, so do you have a list of tasks each day, or do you kind of spend whole days cleaning? How do you kind of map out your cleaning routine?
Yeah.
Is it a routine, or is it just,
Yeah.
oh, if I see something, I'll sort it out? How does it?
It's very routine. It used to be like I tried so many things. I've always had schedules for me. I'm actually an elementary school teacher. It's my
Oh
full-time
wow.
job. Yeah, so we're all about schedules, routines. Like that's how I've always been. So
Yeah.
I've tried different routines, but most of it was usually like, okay, let's go do everything on the weekend, and that's like such a bad idea. So um, I've broken down like every task that needs to be cleaned, and it's all day by day. So I do a little bit every single day. And then that way the weekend is free, because that's when the kid, no, now the kids are home all the time, but normally the kids are there on the weekend,
Yeah.
and that's when it's insane and there's no time to be cleaning. So I
No, and
find
you also don't
very,
get any downtime either, isn't it, if you're constantly on the go?
yeah, so it's just doing a little bit every single day, and also dividing up the tasks that, you know, like what you should do every day. So I've created like a membership where I break it all down step by step, exactly how my, how I decluttered, how I organized, how I clean, how I maintain everything. And it's like a monthly membership that people can sign up for if they're interested. And that's where I explain every step by step
All
thing.
of this
But,
stuff.
um,
Yeah, no.
but yeah,
I've recently started doing this whole breaking down of cleaning tasks as well, because before it'd be like, I need to clean today, and then I just kind of wear myself out. And of course, within a few days, the house is kind of back to square one. Whereas if you're doing a little bit every day, it kind of feels like, okay, you're kind of keeping on top of it more.
right.
And I try and do it first thing in the morning as well, so that it's done and I'm not, waiting. I'm not sort of anticipating, oh, I've still got to do this, I've still got to do that. I try and just get it done in the morning so it's done.
Yeah.
Somebody has said, fab tips, I got rid of all my plastic containers and replaced them with glass lot containers, which are square in all different sizes and come in a set of 9. I got them from Costco in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some of the glass ones as well, but I've still got some of the plastic ones that have had historically. But I actually did do an exercise at the beginning of lockdown where I went through my Tupperware drawer, and because I was just, it's the most annoying thing having all, no lids. And so I literally sorted all of that, and then I've got like a little basket for all the lids now, and then all the containers are stacked, but it's literally a cupboard dedicated to just Tupperware. But it just makes it so much easier just to have it organized.
And also a lot of organizers recommend that if you have the space, which I don't, so I wasn't able to do it, but I don't know what your space is like. If your space is big enough, they say to store the container with its lid on. So instead of separating the two, but that won't work in my place. I have to have everything stacked. And then but that's another thing that they highly recommend. But
yeah, that's, I guess, to make sure you know where everything is, right? But no, that's really, has anybody else got any questions? I love your page. I always think, oh wow, you're so like on it. And even your wardrobe, I see, you're even trying to go more towards the minimalist wardrobe and just a capsule type wardrobe, which is brilliant.
I ended up creating a capsule wardrobe, and that's one of the best changes I've ever made as well. I know it's not for everyone. Some people are really into like fashion, or especially if you're like a fashion blogger or something like that. I can't imagine how you would want to do something like that. But for me, I'm a mom, teacher, like I don't really care about being overly like fashionable or anything.
Yeah.
So I've basically narrowed down my wardrobe to gray, black, and white, and denim. Everything changed, like matches, and there's very few of each type of item, and it's so easy to get dressed. It's so easy to like manage it all. I don't need a ton of space, and I have enough outfits to last me forever. Like I never run out. There's so much.
And it's funny, isn't it? It's that whole thing again, when you've got a lot of stuff, it's that whole, oh, what do I wear today? What do I wear today? You almost forget what you've got.
Exactly.
It's that whole amount of energy that you're investing in thinking about what shall I wear. It's just lots of stuff equals lots of time wasted, basically, isn't it?
Totally. And you think I have more stuff, so I have more choices, but no, like I find I dress better now than I did then, because I was trying to match weird things or using colors that I don't even like, and it was just
and you've kept the things you love and that you're comfortable wearing.
Exactly.
Whereas we all have those items in our wardrobe which are a bit like, I don't know, how would that look all right on me or not? And you never end up wearing them, so it's just a waste.
And it was the latest trend, and that's why you went and bought it, even though it doesn't suit you. And then you're like, oh God, why do I have this? And then that's the other thing is, I've noticed that when we look back at our photos now, we're like, oh, I still like that, what I was wearing, because it's so basic. Like my husband wears t-shirts, polos, shorts, everything is solid. There isn't some big weird logo and everything on the front. Same with my stuff. Like it's very basic. So when we look back, we're not like, what was I thinking? What was I wearing? It's just like, oh, okay, that still works, right? So
it's kind of timeless, right? Somebody's asked, what cleaning products do you recommend? I hear baking powder and vinegar is meant to be good.
Yes, I switched over to that. I switched over to that as well. I stopped using all of my clean in the bathroom, like commercial ones. And I've just been using baking soda. I sprinkle it everywhere. If you look at my, I think Safe and Clean highlights or something on my Instagram, I showed it, but just sprinkle baking soda. I spray it with vinegar, and then I take my sponge and I squeeze like a little bit of dish soap on here and just scrub the tub. For the toilet, I just sprinkle the baking soda, spray it with vinegar, and then use the brush to brush it. For spraying like the outside of the toilet, I just use it's vinegar, water, and a tiny bit of dish soap in a spray bottle. Use that to spray it down and wipe it down. For all my mirrors, like I said, I use either Norwex or e-cloth. Yeah, or e-cloth. Just water again. Same with my mop, is an e-cloth one, so it's only water. So I've been able to cut out all of those chemicals, and they really work. Like baking soda and vinegar and dish soap, that's all you need. You can clean your whole house. Like, really, it's amazing. It's just that I don't want to use that stuff on like my floors, or it might be too harsh, vinegar and stuff. So that's why it's the e-cloth one. It's just water, so you can't damage anything. Like,
What do you use on the floor then? Yeah, what do you use on your floor?
So just it's just an e-cloth. It's a mop, and it's linked in my shop as well. You'll find it on Amazon, and it's just a big mop, and you just rinse it with hot water, and it just picks up the dirt for some reason. Like, I don't know, it just does. You'll have to
Sounds
try
really
it on
good.
Yeah.
I'm quite, keen on, I've got cupboards full of cleaning products, to be quite honest, at the moment, but I am quite keen on sort of reducing our exposure to that stuff, because I think we're so oblivious to it, and you almost feel untouchable, like, this isn't going to impact me, it's only a bit of cleaning product. But the amount that we use and that we're constantly using, it is a lot. And it's also, better for the environment, better for our health, better financially. It's more economical to use these other alternative methods. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've given some really great tips. I'm going to check out e-cloth and see if they're around here.
Yeah.
Somebody has asked, how do you make garage shelves tidier? What baskets do you recommend?
So I don't have a garage because we're in a condo, so we have a storage room. But I would go to like a Home Depot, or IKEA has them. They're like just shelving. And then I would use, you have two options. One is you could go clear. I've done both, like clear big bins, so that, and then you categorize your items. And because they're clear, you can easily see what's inside, and you would just stack those on the shelves. But over the years, I've become even more and more picky with how everything looks, even inside my storage room and things like that. So now I'm gravitating more towards opaque, and then put a label on it instead. So that way everything is uniform and all just like white bins or whatever color you decide to get. And then it just has a label, and I just put everything by categories, and it's just stacked bins.
Nice and tiny.
Yeah. And then you can, in your garage as well, you can get all those hooks to hang the bikes and to hang the rakes and all that kind of stuff. They have so many organization systems for the
Yeah, I'm a bit obsessed with the command hooks at the moment as well, actually. I've stuck them in my, even in my kind of wardrobes, I've stuck them up to just put odd bits, that were kind of annoying, or like my husband's bits as well. I've just put them up because it's like, it's so annoying. His keys, he walks the dog every morning, and he'll leave his key with its lanyard on the dining table, and I'm like, the key shouldn't go here. So that's on my to-do list, actually, just stick up a command hook in the dog's room so that he can hang the key there, because that's where he's coming in and out. So that gets rid of that from the dining table, and it goes in the right room. The really little simple steps, but it's just, everything should have a place, isn't it? Everything should have a place. And even if everybody in the house doesn't adhere to the rules, at least that, okay, that could just be simply placed back where it's supposed to go, and you all know where that place is.
Yeah.
Otherwise things go missing.
And the only way that everything can have a place is if we get rid of like 50% of it, because we don't have this much space for all of these things, right?
Yeah. No, it's true.
Declutter, and then the second thing I'd say. Have a
when you don't have a pantry closet, how would you store it in a bedroom or coat closet?
So we have to do that as well because our pantry is very small for our items. So we have like back stock and other food items that there's a in one of our bedrooms there's like a small little nook. So what I did there was, again, I put the same kind of shelving that I talked about that you could put in a garage. I got bins, again, categorized, and then any back stock goes into those different bins. And then that's where we go, like when we need another cereal box, we go grab it from there. We decant it into the one that's in the kitchen. And that's how we use it because don't have the space for like all of our stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. So somebody's asking, do you have any tips for Lego storage? This is like the bane of most of our lives is Lego.
The worst. I know. Honestly, like I think the clear plastic bins are great for Lego, and you just put all of them in there. I used to like try doing it by color. No, it's so much work. Like, not
Too
worth
much
it.
work.
The kids are gonna just mix it up. So get they're like the shoe type, they're shoe boxes. I don't have one right here, but we have like Home Depot, and they sell them. They're like $1, and it's just like a clear plastic bin, and I just put all the Lego in there, and then they're all stackable, and you know, and just as soon as the kids play with it, they got to put it away. You know, IKEA has like tables that underneath has a compartment, and you could dump it all right into there. But I don't have space for more furniture, so.
Yeah. There's also that mat that you can get that I've seen that, you know, it's kind of like a drawer, you've got a drawstring thing on it and it holds all the Lego in. So you literally, that has always been very appealing to me because literally Arjun there's bits of Lego everywhere around the house, just like random rogue pieces.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, we also got the giant Lego bricks, so they look like a massive block of Lego. It's a storage box. Those are really good as well. And we've got a blue one and a red one, and the red one is for all the little Legos, and the blue one is for Sergeant's Mega Block. Is it Mega Duplo for the slightly bigger ones, just so they can distinguish, you know, whose is who. So those are quite good as well. But it's just making sure that the Lego goes back in there.
Because when you step on one of those, oh my god,
painful.
So painful.
Do you have any tips on tidying up? I mean, I think we've.
Yeah, so basically just do a little bit every day is what I think. You have to look at everything that you need to clean in your house, and you have to sit down and create a schedule. And the other thing is, some things you just have to do every day, and they seem like they're going to take a long time, but they won't. It's like a quick, like putting everything back in its home, wiping down the counters. And I wipe down my kitchen and bathroom counters every day. Like, I'm not going to be scrubbing the tub every day. That I'll do bi-weekly. But as long as I keep the sink area nice and shiny, it makes the biggest difference. And I think, always putting things away in like drawers every single day, not having these things pile up everywhere is what makes the biggest difference.
No, I agree. And I did that with our bedroom actually. When we first went into lockdown, the first thing I did was like, I need to sort this bedroom out. And instead of overwhelming myself with it, I was like, right, every time you've got like 5-10 minutes, do a drawer. Just do it. It doesn't take long. Don't overwhelm yourself, because I start building it up in my mind and I'm like, right. So I literally did a drawer at a time. You know, I folded the clothes in the in a more efficient way, and then I kind of rearranged the wardrobes, got rid of some stuff, and literally now it's so much more calmer in there when you walk in, because there's not stuff everywhere.
Exactly.
And it's easier when there is a kind of a random item. I'll just put it in its right place. So I think it's just staying on top of things and not overwhelming yourself with, oh my gosh, I need to declutter my whole entire house.
No, then you'll never start. Right?
Yeah, you'll never do it because you'll just put yourself off. So just baby steps, and just, I literally made a list of things like, you know, from holiday drawer. You know, we've got a drawer which is full of like, I don't know, the kids' sunglasses and medicines and travel bits and, you know, just stuff. And it was just in such a state, and I didn't know what we do and don't have. So I was like, right, you need to sort that. That was on my list. Or, you know, the medicine drawer, just making sure it's organized, you know what's in there, and just breaking it down into really small tasks, even things like putting the command hook up is on my list because I can tick it off once it's done. It's such a
Yes,
small win, but it's a big thing.
for sure.
Um,
Yes.
Somebody said, do you store kids' memorabilia and how do you organize and store this? I have so much and part of me wants to throw it 1 minute and then keep it the next
Yeah.
minute.
So what I did was I don't have one of those like baby books or anything like that. I just kept for each child, they have like one, their smallest like outfit, when they're a newborn.
First out there.
Yeah, and then I have like my pregnancy test, my ultrasound, and like their little baby hat, socks, whatever it is. And I made like a frame, like those shadow box.
Box frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything's in there. Each kid has one of those. So that's the big thing. And then I have one container. It's like about this big. I don't know. And in there is on the day they were born, I got the newspaper. So I have
Yeah.
each one of them, yeah, their newspaper. I have one outfit, like their favorite, like little baby outfit that I liked. I kept one. Maybe I think a pair of shoes, like little baby shoes, are so cute. So I kept one for each, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like, how much stuff do they need? They don't need every little item, every piece of hair. But if you want to get your first haircut, I don't know.
I'm a little bit guilty, and I think mine comes from the fact that my mum has literally, she is declutter queen. She does not
Oh,
keep
good.
anything. Yeah. Um, and it's terrible. It's like, Mum, where's that gone? You leave something there and then you turn your head and then it's just gone. And it's like, Mum, seriously, give us a
That's
minute. And my
me.
mum is the opposite.
Yeah.
So she will keep everything, everything, everything. So I'm kind of trying to be a happy medium. But the boys, for us, we've got these really big, you'd probably have a heart attack if you saw how big they're, like
Yeah.
a big storage box. But it's to collect things over the years. So, like their nursery journal, I didn't want to chuck that away. So keeping things like that, or their school books, because my husband's mum, my mother-in-law, she has all of that from my husband's time, and it's so nice to share our kids that look, once we did all of this as well. But
Yeah.
I think another thing that I've seen flying around on the internet is basically taking pictures of your kids' artwork and
Yeah.
uploading it, so you don't have all this kind of random. I'll be honest with you, I chuck most of that now because it's just,
It's so much.
unless it's just so much, and unless it's a sentimental kind of, like the other day, Sergeant came up and he'd doodled all over a page, and I was like, oh my God, that's such a big thing for him. So,
Oh, okay.
maybe jotting it down on the back that he did this, and keeping it as a memory, so it's got more of a thing, more of a story to it. But yeah, I've become better at not keeping everything.
Exactly. And what we did in our living room is we got one of those masterpieces like decal from Amazon, and it just says masterpieces on the wall. There's a string hanging underneath, and that's where we clip artwork. I'm sure you'll see it in one of my somewhere on my YouTube or something. But so their artwork goes up there for a little bit, and then when they bring in new artwork, they pick and choose what's coming down, and then new artwork goes up. And that's up there. And then I have one big bin. So that was the baby stuff that I have one container for all the kids stuff goes in there. But each child has their own like Rubbermaid, like those file
box file
type
thing.
Yeah, box file ones. And then I've already labeled it with all their grades from like kindergarten to grade whatever 12 here. And then at the end of the year, like as they come, like with their report cards, I put that in there. And then if it's anything like really special, something they spent months on working, that goes in there. And just a couple items for each year, and then fill up that filing thing.
That's such a good idea, actually, having a box file, because it's more organized as well.
And you just
kind
have
of
to set it up when they're in kindergarten, or like I did it when they were in preschool, just so that it's all ready to go. Because otherwise, if you wait till grade 6 and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to start. It's like,
I've got to sort all this out. That's a good idea. That might be something I do as well, actually. I've made little notes as we've been talking. That I want to try and do. But that's been really, really helpful, Vaishali. Thank you so much. And guys, if you don't follow her already, make sure you do. I'll tag her again. And I'll save this on my IGTV as well. But it's been really helpful, and I think I need to just get rid of these black bags that are like sitting to be ironing.
With the clothing, So I used to put it in my trunk of my car to go drop it off, and then it would never get dropped off. And then somebody on my Instagram messaged me and was like, put it beside you, like on the passenger seat,
Yeah.
and you will definitely drop it off. So now whenever I take those bags, I put as many as I can on the front. So then that way it's just
You have to go. Yeah, you've got to go.
And also during COVID, you have to check right now. I don't know if they're accepting stuff right now.
I don't know. That's why I've just loaded the car. It's literally full.
Yeah, so
it's bursting. So, yeah, but at least the intention is there and it's all ready to go. So it's a good thing. Okay. But thank you so much, Vaishali. It's been such a pleasure to have you, and I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, this was fun.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm glad we finally made it happen.
I know. It's been so long, hasn't it? Well, we've been trying, but no, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining. So I'll save it and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.